Good morning, Scott.
Lajon, how are you, man? I'm
I'm fine.
sorry
How you doing?
I'm
Hey,
great, man.
what's going on, gentlemen? How you guys doing?
I'm doing great.
Doing awesome.
I don't know if you know, me and you go back a long, long way. About 20 something years ago, I met you at Vintage Vinyl. You guys were performing in New Jersey. My
Yes.
my brother worked for TBT Records when you guys were putting out like a bunch of
Who's your
your.
brother?
My brother was Tim Brennan. Well, he is Tim Brennan.
No.
He's still alive. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
okay, sorry. Wow, good to see you, man. That's crazy. I know. I remember the place and everything. That's wild.
Yeah.
Now, who's the other gentleman?
That's Mike.
I'm Mike. I have no association with you, so this is awkward.
Okay, that's all right. Well, good to see you anyway.
Yeah, but thanks for giving us a few minutes of your time, man. I know it's valuable. So, I guess my first question for you is,
Mhm.
you guys are coming up on 30 years of being a band, and you look about 4 years older than you did 30 years ago. Like,
Thank you very much. That's a compliment.
does it feel like 3 decades to you of this band, or does it feel like it just went by in a second?
Wow. Man, that's a good question. It definitely doesn't feel like it went by in a second.
Right.
But there's something in the air right now that's making it very exciting, maybe due to being down with that pandemic for 2.5 years. I feel like it's given everyone this new surge on getting back out there and being in the presence of each other in the way that we weren't able to do for the last 2.5 years. And I feel music is a healer. But as far as, yeah, the 30 years, man, it's crazy to think about. We've been going for that long. It seems like it's been a long time. I was 21 years old when I signed a record deal with TBT Records, and I just turned 50 last year. So man, yeah, we're old. It's crazy. Yeah.
Hmm. Speaking of the pandemic and all, like you're going to be touring down here in Georgia, and I know you're from the Georgia area. I'm living down here, and
Okay, right on.
yeah. So the new one, Truthkiller, it's out right now. But I'm kind of curious, like when Blood and Stone came out, that came out right in the pandemic. So is this tour kind of like a release of, oh, I actually put out new music and we can perform for people, where the other one is almost like, oh, that's almost like a lost opportunity to give
So
everybody.
felt like, yes, it was so felt like a lost opportunity, but the opportunity for us to make sure that folks had our music out there during such a crazy time that we felt like it was a good move. And that album, actually, which was crazy, we never got to tour it, but it charted on Billboard and all that stuff. And that was cool to get that in the mail after, being here in the pandemic. It was like, well, this sucks. We came to tour, what I'm saying? So it's definitely a good feeling to know that, especially the wives and everybody, it's like time to go back to work. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be good for us. I actually leave Saturday on tour, trying to get to the lake tomorrow, shut some stuff down, and then head back home and head out on tour, rehearse with the band for one day, and then we start the tour, I think, in Buffalo, New York.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, like I was saying, with 30 years, like I remember you guys so long ago. Like I remember when I watched wrestling back in the day, there was like heavy pushes for Sevendust albums during like Monday Night Raw and stuff. And now here you are 30 years later. I read an interview with you. You guys are coming up on like the 20th anniversary of Animosity, and you were going to try to, celebrate that.
We did that. We did a 3-leg sold out run of that album. It was incredible. For whatever reason, man, you guys, that album kind of resonated with a group of people. I feel like that were in the same group bracket or something. I don't know, but for whatever reason, it's just a lot of people. That album had something to do very special, and maybe them growing up, a point of them being in high school or maybe college or whatever. So it was really fun to go back down memory lane. I hope in the future we'll be able to do something like that with Seasons, because it's coming up on its anniversary too. And hopefully we'll be able to do that with a lot of all the albums.
I mean, I think that's been one of the coolest things in music over the past 5-10 years. People, so many bands that I grew up with doing a tour on an album, playing the whole album front to back. And I'm curious, what do you think? I feel like it's very different now. We have all these bands that are still able to keep going 20, 30, 40 years. And it seems like a lot of bands are getting back together and doing tours. What's your guys' longevity?
Oh man, I think we knew this right here. We wouldn't, I don't know. It just changed our lives. it's definitely we didn't care about any of the business when we first started because we were kids that just wanted to be in the music business. We thought when we got our first RV that we made it. It was like,
Yep.
only to think that, wow, we were so at the very beginning, and then we finally got our first tour bus, and it was like, we made it. And we're like, we're still at the freaking beginning, and so it was a long time, and then, oh man, TBT just took us out to dinner, man. Oh, this is great. We just ate all the steaks and everything. Guess what? We're paying for it at the end of the day. We're like, we made it. Like, no, we hadn't made it. So, it took us a minute to become businessmen in this industry too, which thank the Lord we were able to. And I feel like that's some advice that I give to any artist out there, man, woman, whatever you may be, whatever gender, you try to make sure you keep your finger on the pulse with knowing what's going on. Too, also, stay true to your art. And also, I think something that's kept us together, and I say it, now more so than I used to say it before, but I feel like just because Sevendust, we don't have somebody that comes in and this guy's got a Lamborghini and this guy's riding a bicycle and somebody else is walking, you know what I mean? So we split everything evenly. And so everyone comes in with, they know they have to do their part, and it's not somebody that's, I'll do more than you and you do, it's nothing like that. It's like we all come in and we know without you, we can't make this happen, and without you, we can't. So we have to, and we come to, we've been on that level since day one,
What about you personally, as far as your, like keeping the voice healthy? You got 30 something years of singing heavy music, going hard every night. What, how do you keep yourself in shape?
Get rest, man, after the show. Smoke a little bit. Now you don't have to burn it down. You don't have to burn it all the way down. I burn it down a little bit.
Yeah.
I get rest. We don't party like Motley Crue or nothing. That's a lot different than back in the young days. It's pretty much movie night on the bus for me. I love not being the headliner on tour. So I'm really excited. Mammoth tour. Mammoth, Sevendust, Alter Bridge, and by maybe Alter Bridge's fourth song of their set, I could be at your local Applebee's or Fridays getting me some food to go. And I'm serious. So it ain't like like it was back in the day. And there may be a couple nights get like that, but it's not like that. We are, everybody's responsible. And a lot of, John, like he's conditioning right now to run the New York Marathon. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah. And he just ran the Boston Marathon too. So. Yeah, it's different. We weren't running marathons back in the day, that's for sure.
Now, the thing I love about Sevendust is that it's never one style. Like, you listen to an album, it'll get heavy, it gets soft, it'll change up genres. Now, I know that you said your vocal inspiration has been your dad, who was a funk singer. Was he into like a bunch of different styles of music, or did you kind of learn it on your own?
Oh man, no, I was always around different kind of music and everywhere. I grew up, so I would go to the farm during the summer, there'd be country music and rock and roll blasted through the farmhouse, the whole summer. So it was around that, my family was very musical. I remember listening to Jim Croce with one of my dad's Mexican buddies and them playing dominoes. And I still have that vision in my head and just falling in love. They can't put on Superman's cape. You can't spend it nowhere. Don't pull the mask off the long range and you don't mess around. And I'll kind of remind my dad about that sometimes. And he's like, how do you remember things like that? And I just say, things like that were very important. Obviously, that burnt an image in my mind to still to this day that type of music I love. And I still love that song to this day, so those were very important times.
Yeah. Like, do you find in this age of streaming and vinyl kind of being the only like physical records that people seem to buy, do you find but when we are connected with the web, do you find it's easier that you're finding new groups of fans, or do you find it's more like your loyal following just keeps coming back?
I definitely see loyal following coming back, but there's definitely new ones coming out too, man. There's there's new ones, and I laugh too because the new ones could possibly be the parents of the old ones that are our age.
Yeah.
So that's in the case. In the case right now, that's what it's like. I look out in the crowd. I'm like, oh my God, hey man, how you doing, bro? And he's like, well, this is my daughter. This is my daughter's kid. So it's like a generation. It's a family affair now. You think about it. I'm 50. I'm the youngest in the band. I like to say that. But yeah, we all have kids. We all have families, and they're coming out to the show. So these other families are doing the same thing, and it's an amazing energy, to see that and to connect with folks like that, and them to tell you stories and what this song made them feel like. It's really cool.
I was going to ask you about the family aspect of being in a large band and going on these large tours. How do you balance being a dad and also going away for God knows how long on tour, and how do you find that family balance?
Oh, we FaceTime every day.
Yep.
Last year
from the Applebee's, or
yeah, they don't do the Applebee's. Last year, my wife had me. I flew home for one day while recording the album. Recording Truthkiller. I flew home for one day to make sure that I was at my kid's first day of school. And it was like, hey, good morning. Daddy loves you. Okay, bye. And then I was like, that was it. We didn't get to go breakfast or anything. I guess, all right, I'll see you later. I gotta go finish this album. but it was very important, and that's something that they won't forget. And it's cool. So, but anyway, like on this next tour, when we leave out, they'll fly out to Connecticut and come to a show, and we'll hang out for a couple of days, and that'll break up the 3-week run right there. Other than that, they're ready for me to get out on the road and go, because I've been home forever now, so it's time to go. It's like,
later, Dad.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, it's time for him to go. The dogs are like, man, he's not gonna be somebody kicking me in my ass telling me to stop.
Preparing for this, I've listened to a bunch of interviews with you and the band, and you all seem like connected, love music, I'd love to tour with this group and that group. So like, for being on tour for these many years, like I remember in the 90s, there was like all these these two bands hate each other and all these riffs and stuff like that. I'm kind of curious, do you like laugh at it? Did you guys ever have like a band that's what's wrong with you?
We laughed at it, man. At one point in time, people were like, Morgan and Dez are mad at each other because Morgan was with Raina. And it was never, that was just to stop talk on the scene and stuff. We were never mad at anyone. We always liked everyone. I think one time we helped the Disturbed guys at a Rolling Rock event, and they were getting some flack from some band. I can't even remember the band. They're not even a band anymore. And I remember us getting ready to rumble with some guy body. So yeah, but we were young then. But yeah, other than that, we've never really had any beef with anybody at all. It's just like we're there to have, we're there to do our show and do our thing, do our music, and feed the people the medicine that they need, and you can get on that bus and get on down the road and make it home safely. You know what I'm saying? And that's the most important thing, to get back to these kids and their wives and in one piece. Yeah. So I laugh at that stuff. You see people beefing and stuff. It's not even worth it, man. Because most of the time, you never talk to that person again in your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So let's get into the new album a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm curious if we said we went back about 20 years to like Animosity or some of the first albums, and writing an album now, how your guys' writing process, has it remained kind of the same? Do you come in with songs, or do you work them out in the studio? What's your general process?
All that stuff, man. You come in, we send songs to each other. You have a Dropbox. Ideas are put in the Dropbox. Then on this time, we were very lucky. Me and my wife, her grandparents left a farmhouse to the family, and we remodeled it. And while in the middle of remodeling, I was just like, this place is this would be perfect to write. 300 acres out there.
Nice.
Nobody around except a couple of her family relatives way across the way here. Had Clint come down. We did some writing, and we were like, man, we got to get the band down here. And it was so cool. It reminded me of being kids and being forced to find a place to jam. So imagine Sevendust set up in grandma's old room. Yeah. Not grandma's old bed, but a new bed, but Morgan's drum set right in front of that bedroom, electric drum set. Really cool setup. Benny sitting in a chair beside him on a stool, John on the other end of the bed, Clint on the computer, me with the mic stand, and just banging it out and writing songs, and just recording the demo was that way, man. Did several songs at the farm, and I think that was one of our best writing experiences. Only not because it was just so family vibe and just us being together like that. We hadn't been together for a while because of the pandemic, other than our little dates where we did the live shows. You know, we had to just be together, and you know, everybody had to get tested, and we did the live show. So it was really good for us to be together, laugh, scare each other. I remember one morning, John looked out and he was like, "Man, I think one of your calves are out of that cage or whatever that is out there." I was like, "No, man, that's a new fence and stuff out there." And he's like, "Okay." He's like, "No, I think it is." And I looked up there, I'm like, "No way." We're out there chasing a calf. John's doing his hands like this right here in some tight biker shorts, getting ready to run. I'm like, "Stop doing that. You're freaking him out." And, you know, just laughing at each other, and then going back inside, having breakfast, and then getting to work and writing another song. And then taking that energy and then going into Elvis Bassett's place in Florida, which is a completely different setting. It's a mansion with the inside pool and the studio's there. And it's just, you know, you get there and it's the same setup, but in a cooler room. It's not grandma's room. It's like a legit live setup room. And you write songs in here, and then you have a setup in your bedroom, and then you have another setup. Before you even go into the studio to record, you can pretty much record an album throughout the house. You know what I mean?
That's cool.
So it's a really good working vibe for us. We get out there, we start from like noon, maybe 11. I like to sing early if I start singing, but we start from like 11 until 11 at night, probably every day, except for Saturday or Sunday we take off. So that's how we work. I think we did Truthkiller in like 45 days, I believe. I keep looking back there because now we don't have a plaque for that yet. Maybe that's a good sign. It's gonna happen. I'm wishing for it.
I mean, there's a lot of albums to remember at this point. I would have to reference myself too. Like,
oh, it's very cool. It's funny to think when now when we have a headline set, it's like, what songs we're gonna do? We're like, shit, we don't know, man. Somebody will say something. Somebody will say, I ain't playing that song. So it would laugh.
I was going to ask you guys how you go about building a set list with such a big discography.
Oh, you definitely hear from each one of us say, I'll say something. I ain't never singing that song again. How about that? You know, but it's fun and it's funny. And then sometimes somebody will say a song that we know that none of us like, or maybe just one of us like, and it's like, nah, we're not doing that one. No, but you know, but we pick and choose. But it's a good. I feel like it's a good problem to have when you have so much material. When you've been a band for so long, it's a really cool thing, and it's fun. And there's some damn songs on there that I'm like, we couldn't do that if we even tried.
Well, I mean, I've checked out some of the news. I love Superficial Drug. That's probably my fave so far from Truthkiller. And now one thing I think people underestimate is. I love Sevendust's video. Like I checked out Fence, the claymation with the zombies. That's awesome. And one of my faves is still Enemy with China and that whole scene there. Do you guys have an input into that, or did they just say this is what we're going to do? Oh yeah, we definitely have an input in the videos, man. The input in Fence was we didn't want to be in the damn video. We didn't feel like we were ready to get that. So it was awesome to see this guy's vision. And I felt like, you know, personally, that was such a nostalgic, really cool idea. I think it will grasp the people that kind of was in that era where Adult Swim, we were watching Death, all that kind of stuff, and it was fun to see us in that light. And we're able also, our lighting guy on the tour, he mimics that lighting, the light show that we were live on stage in the claymation. So it's fun. All the videos have been fun, man. Especially we went down there and we did like maybe 3 or 4 videos live. So after we weren't in the video, they tricked us and said, okay, now let's go do some live videos. We're gonna see you motherfuckers. So it was fun doing it, man. And these videos turned out really good. We released, like you said, we released Superficial Drug, I believe it was yesterday. And people seem to be enjoying it, and the album comes out Friday. So I'm excited to see the response.
I was curious if guys in bands after a while actually like being in music videos, or it's just like, okay, it's part of the job.
Now, it depends on the director. This last director we had was great. He wasn't trying to bang it out where he was in there for 20 hours and like he falling asleep and stuff. He got the shot. We were 5 o'clock in the evening. We're like, wrap it up every day. We're like, it was great, man. This is all. We had lunch. Sat down, I burnt one down. It wasn't like, we'll be here till 2 o'clock in the morning, and we got here at 8. It's like, oh shit, what are we filming?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's different. It's different times where you're like, this is crazy. But this last experience, man, it's been great, and it's also been great. I forgot about the day of signing a record deal, and luckily that Napalm gave us the opportunity to sign us. And man, it's been a great venture ever since. I've done so much press for the last 2 months that it's only a good thing. Like I said, they now there's 5 videos, so it's really good to have the backing of a label and to know that you're going to get ready to go back overseas and build that relationship up again too. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I will say a little shout out to Kevin and the people over there. They've been really good to communicate with as far as setting this up. And
Kevin's great.
Yeah. I'm curious, I do stand-up comedy and follow a lot of big comics, and they're always talking about, like, after these big tours or getting, too big, like they have to almost like take time off to live life a little bit to kind of figure out things to write about. Like you start to lose ideas in general, like things in life where you're just kind of on tour all the time. I'm curious.
Absolutely. You got to deal with real life. You got to come home and take the trash out, have your wife yell at you.
Yes.
You got to have all those type of things to have stories. You know what? We've been trying to spend a lot of time, not like we don't, but this summer has been very special because over the couple of last years, you weren't able to do anything. You were stuck in the house and you really couldn't go anywhere because you get sick and blah, 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 this and that. And my friend, one of my best friends, looked at us. So we go to the lake a lot. Got some toys down there, a couple of boats, cedars and stuff in the condo. And so she looked at me and said, we're going to have as much fun with these kids. She said, we only have 18 summers. And I said, what? And she said, you only have 18 summers with them. And I never thought about it. Like, you know what I mean? It just hit it just hit so profound.
I've thought about that with my son.
Like,
I thought about that with my son. He's turning 3 this year, and I'm like, there's probably only like 11 more summers that he actually likes me and wants to hang out.
There you go.
Me,
That's right. Like it's like dad. This already I'm getting the dad. I'm like, I'm cool. You just told me all your friends think I'm cute still. I'm not too old. Wait a minute. So anyway, man, it's just so crazy, just to think about that. So we try to make sure that's a good thing, man. And to come back and decompress is something I definitely do, and to spend time with the family and to make sure that I'm present in what's going on in their lives, and being present in the band and being that, that guy too. So, and being present as a husband, it's an important thing to all juggle. But it's at this point in time, I think we got a good handle on it,
It's awesome. Lajon, first off, thank you so much for the time you gave us. It's very much appreciated.
Man, thank you. Wait, what's going on with the comedy? Are you on tour? What's up, bro?
Oh, no, I'm not that big. I do local stuff here in Jersey, PA, New York. Do shows when I can. So,
well, I'm gonna check it out, man.
Why don't you open for Sevendust?
Yeah, let's do it.
Exactly.
Me and the wife are gonna go see Chappelle.
Oh, nice. Yeah, well, I mean,
here in September. Yeah,
I mean, me and Chappelle, we're like neck and neck. He's a little better, but
that's all. Yeah, our old head of security, Jake Lawson, he's out there doing security for Chappelle, so he's gonna hook us up because I definitely we're gonna be buying tickets for that. So we'll go check that out.
I just love hearing stories of him like showing up at the Rogan's Club or wherever and doing like the 2.5 hours of
there you go, exactly.
Crazy.
I'm gonna look you up, man. I'm gonna look your stuff up. You have stuff on YouTube?
Yeah, I'll send you some stuff or something.
Yeah, please do.
Last question. Where can the album's coming out? Just tell people the details of where they can get that.
Sevendust.com, all that stuff, just go to the Sevendust page, Instagram, Facebook, and you'll see everything on all those outlets. And it'll just be everywhere. Friday, it'll be coming out and you'll be seeing all kind of stuff, man. And hopefully you guys enjoy the album. And we look forward to touring and being face to face with everyone out there.
And last question, my best friend literally has a Sevendust album cover tattoo on his right arm.
No way. Which one is it?
It's the one with the like ball and chain. Like he's got like a Sevendust logo. Maybe it's from a picture or.
Yeah, what's awesome. Tell him I said, what's your friend's name?
My friend's name is Alex.
Alex. Tell Alex I said thank you. I'm trying to see if I have the artwork for that.
So I'm just curious. You deal with fans and that follow you left and right, and for 30 years, have you ever seen people do things like still amaze you how deep some fans go as far as following?
Oh man, it's amazing. It's amazing. I still get to see tattoos. We even went as far as over in London, and I remember being there, and this young lady walked up and had a tattoo that was bigger than me on her arm. I was like, oh, that's that looks great. That's definitely me. The dreads were on there and everything. I was singing. I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. That's gonna be on you for the rest of your life, right? Yeah. So but yeah, man, that is so man, it's so enduring, it's so heartfelt, and you know it's real when people go that far for you. You know, it's like you really have inspired or touched, and it just touches me the same way when I get to hear that story or you know, they tell me something like that. So yeah, it that doesn't get old at all. You know what I mean? That's always like, give me a hug. What's your name? Oh shit, now I gotta give you my damn number. You know?
Awesome. Well, Lajon, thank you so much. Good luck with the new album. Good luck with the tour, and we really appreciate spending some time with you.
Oh, thank you. I got a steel pack for that today. It sucks. Anyway, that's something we say when anything goes not your way. You say this tour sucks. So I get to say that right now. This tour sucks, and I ain't even started it yet. Thank you guys, man.